You're listening to Midnight Station 103.7, and damn it. Sorry, folks. Seems we're having a bit of interference tonight. Static keeps cutting through the signal, like someone's breathing on the wire. Huh. Maybe it's just the ghosts again. The old tower's been moaning all week in this weather. Or maybe the air's too heavy tonight. Feels like it, doesn't it? Like it's pressing down on the roof. If you're out there listening, you know what I mean. That stillness before something breaks. Hold on, let me just... There. Maybe clearer now. All right, next up we've got a song from... No music tonight, I guess. The transmitter's fighting me. So, stay with me, will you? I'll keep talking until it settles. Just me, you, and whatever's crawling through the static tonight. If you're listening, don't tune out. Something's off with the air tonight. Phone lines blinking. First time in hours. Let's see who's awake this late. You're on the air. A woman whispers, says the statue. In the park breathed. I tell her it's the wind. She swears she heard lungs. Real ones. Next caller. A man from Ridge Street. Says the angel in his garden leaned forward in the night, its stone face cracked open at the mouth. I try to laugh it off, tell them it's Halloween pranks come early, right? Except it's October 29th. Nobody's pranking anyone. Now the board's lighting up like Christmas. Same stories. Different towns. Same words. They moved. I keep saying maybe it's a joke, a trend, mass hysteria, but my throat feels dry. If you're listening out there, tell me you're seeing nothing strange. Tell me everything's still standing where it should hold on. I'm getting a feed from the wire service. Global update just came through. Rio de Janeiro reports the Christ the Redeemer statue shifted 3 inches during live footage. Cameras caught it. Tokyo. The Buddha's head turned east. Paris. The statues in the Tuileries moved their hands. My hands shaking. I read the report again, slower. Unexplained vibrational anomalies recorded in historic structures. Unexplained. That's their word for we don't know. The newsroom feed crackles again. Footage confirmed by multiple outlets. I can hear the anchors pretending to sound calm. All around the world, the unmoving things are moving. If you're still listening, keep your radios on. Stay inside. Don't touch anything made of stone. And if it looks back at you, don't look twice. You know how silence can sound like it's waiting? That's what it feels like now. I glance over at the small monitor beside me. Outdoor cam. Facing Main Street. Usually shows the war memorial. Bronze soldier, rifle resting against his shoulder, facing the traffic lights, except not anymore. The feed's grainy, but even through the static I can see it. He's turned. The soldier's head, the whole torso, now facing the station window. Facing me. I stare for a while. Don't even blink. My throat's locked shut. No one's outside. The street's empty. No one touched it, I whisper, and the words taste like rust. The silence stretches so long, I can hear my heartbeat in the mic. I don't want to look again. If you're listening, I think something's happening everywhere. And maybe it's been happening longer than we noticed. I keep tapping the desk. You probably hear it through the mic. I've done that since my first broadcast. When I got nervous, I count the taps, keeps me grounded. Reminds me the desk is real. But the sound's wrong tonight. The echo's off, heavier, like the wood's deeper than it should be. I joke about ghosts in the studio sometimes. Now I don't want to. Outside, the air's gone thick again. Feels like pressure pushing through the windows. I wish someone else were here. An engineer, a janitor, anyone. It's just me. The hum of the power grid and the static that won't die. Still tapping, still breathing, still on the air. If you're listening, keep talking to yourself too. Don't let the silence learn your rhythm. All right, okay. Deep breath. We've got a few minutes before the next scheduled update, so public safety reminder, I guess. I'm supposed to sound calm, right? If you're listening in the city or nearby towns, stay indoors. Don't go out to check. Don't try to film it. Wait for the authorities. Reports are still unconfirmed, but something's definitely wrong. Something's moving where it shouldn't. Static breaks through. You hear that? It's cutting again. Another burst of interference. If you lose my voice, don't panic. Power lines are unstable. The station might drop off air for a while. Until we know more, just stay inside. Close your windows. And if you're listening, really listening, stay indoors. Static swells, drowning the signal. Then silence. You're back with me. Still awake, huh? Thought I'd lost half of you to sleep by now. The phone line just lit up. First one since the last bulletin. Let's see who's out there. You're live on the air. Go ahead. Hello? A voice, low, shaking, says he's a night guard at the National Gallery. Says he doesn't know who else to call. He sounds older. Not panic yet, but right on the edge. You can hear the kind of fear that hasn't decided if it's real. I ask what's wrong, and he breathes hard into the receiver. You can hear the echo behind him, a big hollow room. He says, "They're not where I left them." There's a pause. Static. I tell him to repeat that. He says again, quieter this time. "They're not where I left them." I ask what he means. He tells me he's been patrolling the sculpture hall every night for 20 years. Knows every shadow, every creak in the marble. Says tonight the statues have moved the replica of Venus, the one holding the broken arm. Her hand isn't down anymore. It's raised. The bronze horse that greets visitors at the entrance, facing the exit now. He laughs nervously, trying to explain it away. Probably pranksters, he says, but his flashlight caught something impossible. Dust trails on the marble floor, like footprints where stone had scraped. You can hear the echo of his steps as he walks. Phone pressed to his ear. Every few seconds there's a hollow clang. Guard boots on tile. He stops mid-sentence, breath catches. He whispers, "They're not statues anymore." And the line goes quiet except for his breathing. There's a new sound on the call now. Faint, slow, deliberate footsteps. At first, I think it's just him moving. But then I realize he stopped talking. The sound keeps going. It's steady, heavier than a man's boots, like something dragging weight across polished stone. I ask, "Is someone else in there with you?" He says no, breath short, whispering now, "It's coming from the sculpture hall." Then I hear it too, a low scrape, like granite against tile. He's trying to describe it. Says he can't see anything but shadows between the displays. Says the temperature dropped. "I don't think they like the light," he whispers. I ask him to stay calm, to stay on the line, but my voice doesn't sound calm at all. There's a long silence. Then he mutters, almost to himself, "They're moving again. All right, I'm still live, still recording." I tell the listeners we're talking to a night guard from the gallery. Try to sound composed, professional, like this is just another strange night. I thank him for calling in. Say, we'll get someone out there to check it soon. He says, "No one's coming. I called before." I swallow hard, keep my voice even. Start talking about tremors, about the city's old foundations, maybe vibrations, trains underground, magnetic shifts, anything that sounds normal. But as I'm explaining, I hear it again through his phone. Closer this time, it's a dragging noise. Then a hollow tap, like stone knuckles brushing the wall. His breathing turns shallow. I tell him not to panic. I tell myself the same. The static crackles like a heartbeat between us. And then, static. The line bursts open with distortion, sharp and electric. I call his name. Can't say it here for privacy. But he's not responding clearly anymore. The fragments come through, broken, layered with interference. The Venus, then a burst of white noise. She's looking at me now. I repeat his name over and over. Nothing. The distortion deepens until it sounds like wind howling through stone corridors. I can still hear him breathing. Fast, panicked. Then a crash. Glass, maybe, followed by something that sounds like grinding. Then silence. The kind of silence that presses on your chest. I keep calling for him. No answer. Just static. Thick and heavy, like it's alive. If you're listening out there, you heard it too. Something happened in that museum. .6 after the line goes dead, approximately 175 words. I keep the mic open even after the call dies. Dead air isn't supposed to last more than 7 seconds on radio. 7 seconds, and the network cuts the feed. But no one's monitoring us tonight. I call his name one more time, just in case. Nothing. Only a faint hum through the speakers. Like a breath trapped inside the wires, I try to move on. I really do. I shuffle my notes, cough, pretend like I'm transitioning to weather or local news. But my hands won't stop shaking. I give this nervous little laugh. The kind that sounds too high, too forced. Just interference, I say. Probably lost the connection. But even I don't believe that the static's still there, underneath my words, like it's waiting for someone to answer. I lower my voice. If you're still listening, stay with me. Don't hang up. .7, the explanation. No one believes. Approximately 165 words. I try to sound rational again. Try to wrap words around what just happened. Maybe it's a structural shift, I tell myself. Old buildings breathe, expand and contract. Maybe the gallery's floor moved just enough to shift things slightly. Maybe. I start listing scientific reasons for the listeners. Temperature fluctuations, soil vibration, electromagnetic surges, anything that can make me sound like I'm in control. But it all sounds rehearsed, hollow. There's a flicker of light above me, a sharp buzz. The studio lights dim for half a second. I stop mid-sentence. You still there? No response. Not from the phone lines, not from anyone. Only that same soft hum in the background, low, rhythmic, almost like breathing. Through the static, I stare at the board. Every signal light glows red. It feels like the station itself is listening back. If you're out there, just keep listening. Please. You're back with me, folks. Still here, still breathing, still riding the static. It's been a long night, hasn't it? Maybe too long. So, let's do something different. Let's laugh, yeah? We could all use that. Got a few texts from listeners coming in. Breaking news, one says. The Lincoln Memorial just winked at me. Another says, my garden gnome unionized. All right, that's good. Keep them coming. Let's make this a comedy hour. If we can laugh, we can't be scared, right? That's the rule. Still, I can hear it in my own voice, how the chuckle shakes. The studio feels colder now, even the air's listening, but I'll keep pretending because that's what radio hosts do. Pretend everything's fine until the silence starts talking back. Scrolling through the chat feed now, seems like the whole world's turned into comedians overnight. Someone posted, if statues are walking, somebody wake Michelangelo, he's got explaining to do. Another, the thinker just walked off to find pants. I read them out loud, laughing like I mean it. Feels almost normal. This shared insanity through glowing screens. Everyone's scared, but no one wants to say it. We're not talking about fear anymore. We're talking about memes' irony as oxygen. And yet, the rhythm feels off. The static underneath the laughter keeps flickering, like the world's trying to cut through the noise. I take a sip of cold coffee, feel it sit like a stone in my stomach. If you're still listening out there, laugh if you can. It's easier than feeling what's really coming. And just like that, the laughter dies. The emergency tone cuts through. Harsh, metallic, absolute. My headphones nearly jump off my head. Attention. Paracivil Defense reporting a partial structural collapse at Place de la Concorde, casualties confirmed. Avoid all large monuments. I swallow hard, trying to read the words scrolling across the feed. A Statue of Liberty replica toppled during the night, 2 tourists. I can't say the rest. The jokes vanish from the chat. The feed's frozen. I realize I'm gripping the microphone too tightly. My fingers hurt. We thought it was funny. Moving statues, harmless tricks of light. But the laughter doesn't sound like laughter anymore. If you're listening out there, stay inside. Just please, stay inside. Static crackles, hums through the sentence. The interference is worse now. The transmitter keeps popping like it's breathing on its own. I try to keep going, reading the wire updates. Unconfirmed footage of coordinated motion. Crackle. City monuments aligning eastward. Buzz. My words are losing shape. Even my voice feels heavier, like I'm speaking underwater. The silence between phrases stretches too long. Each pause feels alive. I try to fill it. Talk about weather, traffic, anything. But all I can hear is the static whispering between syllables. I say, the signal feels heavier tonight. No one answers, but I know you're out there. I can feel you listening. Maybe that's what keeps the silence from swallowing me whole. You know what? I can't do it anymore. I've been smiling through this whole night, trying to sound calm, trying to be the voice that keeps you company. But my hands won't stop shaking. This was supposed to be another long, lonely shift. News, music, chatter. And now I'm sitting here talking to ghosts and shadows that move when no one's watching. I don't think I can make jokes about this anymore. I lean closer to the mic and whisper, like I'm talking to one person, not 1,000 strangers. If you're still tuned in, I'm scared too. It feels better to admit it. Honest, human. I take a slow breath. The silence doesn't sound empty anymore. It sounds like someone listening back. It's almost 1 a.m. now. The hum of the console, the low pulse of the generator, those are the only heartbeats I can still trust. I'm keeping my voice low, softer now, like a bedtime story for whoever's still awake. You might be alone in a dark room, or hiding by a window, or clutching your phone under a blanket. Doesn't matter. You're here. And I'm here, for as long as the signal holds. I know it's not much comfort, but it's what we have. The sound of another human voice, even when the world outside's turning to stone. So, If you're listening, you're not alone. We'll keep the lines open. Just don't go outside. Please. The line just opened. No ring, no cue, just breathing. Slow, deliberate, like someone afraid to speak too loud. You can hear church bells behind him. Soft, distant, a sound that shouldn't still exist at this hour. He introduces himself. Father Lucenzo, a parish priest calling from Rome. His voice trembles when he speaks. Half faith, half fear. They've begun to move, he says. I ask him to repeat it. The statues, inside the basilica, the saints are moving. He says it like confession, not hysteria, not rumor, truth spoken quietly, like it might break if said too loud. For a moment, I forget I'm on air. Forget the mic. The hum of the board is the only thing keeping us tethered. And through the static, I think, I hear him whisper, almost to himself, "They're waking up." He starts describing what's happening. The marble saints, Peter, Paul, Cecilia, stepping down from their pedestals, feet leaving dust marks on the tiles. He says their eyes no longer look like stone. They gleam, soft and wet, like living eyes learning to blink. Their robes shift, like they're caught in a breeze that doesn't exist. He speaks as if narrating a dream. He's trapped inside. I saw St. Matthew kneel, he says, as if to pray. I ask if anyone else is with him. He says yes. A handful of parishioners, locked inside the nave, praying under the pews. I tell him to leave, to get out of there. But he doesn't answer right away. He says quietly, "How can you run from heaven?" The silence that follows isn't holy, it's afraid. His tone changes, stronger now. Conviction replacing tremor. He insists it's not evil. It is divine correction, he says. Heaven is reclaiming what we defiled. I ask him what that means. He says that maybe the saints have come to cleanse the world, to remind us that stone remembers more than flesh. I try to keep my voice steady, but my throat tightens. And the others? I ask. The ones that aren't saints? He exhales through the line, like an old man tired of disbelief. Even they were made in his image once. I want to believe him. I want to think there's a purpose to all this, but there's something in the way he says correction, like a teacher sharpening a blade. Faith sounds different when it's frightened. 4.4, Faith versus Fear, approximately 165 words. I can't help myself. I push back. If this is divine, I say, then why are people screaming? The pause stretches. You can hear the echo of his breathing, bouncing off marble walls. He finally answers, because we forgot how to fear the right things. He tells me we built idols, not prayers that humanity turned reverence into decor, that maybe heaven has simply grown impatient. My pulse pounds in my ears. I ask him what happens next. Repentance, he says, or silence. The line crackles with interference like the air itself is listening. He adds softly, "They're moving toward the altar now, like soldiers obeying command." There's something heavy in the background. Stone dragging across tile, slow and rhythmic. I whisper his name, but he doesn't answer. Only the sound of something ancient reclaiming its space. 4.5, the chanting begins, approximately 150 words. There it is again. Background noise. At first I think it's static. But no, it's voices. Dozens of them, low, steady, in Latin. Kyrie, eleison, Christi eleison. The chant fills the space behind him, growing louder, until it swallows the air. He says, "They are walking toward the altar." His voice sounds far away now, like he's already receding into the hymn. I raise my volume, asking what he means. Who's chanting? Are they the parishioners? He doesn't respond. Then I realize the chant isn't human. It's too uniform, too hollow. It's the sound of breath forced through something that shouldn't breathe. He starts praying under his breath, the words breaking apart. Deliver us from evil. Deliver us. The static sharpens, and I swear I hear footsteps in perfect rhythm with the prayer. 4.6 screams through the line, approximately 155 words, and then chaos. Wood splinters, shouting, metal crashes against stone. The priest's voice rises through it all, shouting orders, yelling for people to run. The chanting collapses into screams. I hear something heavy fall, then the dull thud of feet, many feet, marching through echoing chambers. I shout into the mic, "Father Lucenzo, are you still there?" The sound distorts. His last words break through like whispers underwater. They're not statues anymore. Then the line snaps. The silence that follows is violent. I sit there, holding the phone to my ear, even though the call's gone. The signal light blinks red once, then dies. For a long time, I can't breathe. Only the static remains. If you're listening, pray for Rome. 4.7, we'll be right back. Approximately 155 words. The static hums like a wound. I lean closer to the mic, trying to sound steady, but my voice cracks halfway through. Well, that was Father Lucenzo, broadcasting, calling from Rome. My throat closes around the words. I take a breath that doesn't come easy. We'll be right back, I say. If there's a back to go to, I let the sentence hang, because I don't know what comes next. My hand's still on the switchboard, but the light that used to mean connected doesn't glow anymore. Somewhere in the distance, I think I hear church bells again. Or maybe it's just feedback. I clear my throat. If you're still listening, don't turn it off. Please, stay with me. It's getting harder to tell what's real out there. The static deepens, like a breath taken by something that shouldn't breathe. End of section 4. Caller 2, the priest. The story continues seamlessly into section 5. Confession between songs. Title, Confession between songs. Total section length, approximately 950 to 1,000 words. 5.1, 142. AM, the long pause. After Rome, approximately 155 words. Static hums, faintly alive. I don't really know how to come back from that. Usually I have a rhythm, talk, breathe, cue the next song. But after Rome, I can't find it. The silence between the words feels too long, like it's watching me. I've been staring at this microphone for 2 whole minutes, wondering if anyone's still on the other side. If you are, hi, I'm still here. Just needed to breathe, I guess. Let's play something old. Something that reminds us what normal sounded like. Click, vinyl crackle. It's an old record. One of the last jazz broadcasts I digitized before all this started. Stay tuned. Or don't. I'll still be talking either way. Soft brass rises through static. 5.2, the jazz that doesn't help. Approximately 145 words. You can hear it, right? The brass, the rhythm. Slow. Like a memory trying to remember itself. I thought it'd help. Thought music could fill the gaps. Words can't reach, but it's just making it worse. The sound keeps skipping every few seconds, like the vinyl's nervous too. The room's so quiet, I can hear my pulse echoing off the walls. Halfway through the second chorus, I pull the fader down. The silence swallows everything. I can't listen right now. I can't pretend this still feels like a show. I keep waiting for her text to come through, but nothing. She always messages when she's on her way home, always. Maybe the cell towers are down. Maybe that's all. Maybe. If you're still out there, sweetheart, answer me. 5.3. The missing wife, approximately 165 words. All right, let's stop pretending. You've probably heard enough of me tonight. The calm voice, the broadcast smile. So let me tell you something true. My wife was supposed to come home hours ago. She works the night shift at the medical center across town. Texted me before midnight. See you after coffee. That was 6 hours ago. She never misses check-in. Ever. I keep calling, but it rings twice and drops into static. Same every time. She's practical, tougher than me, so she'd laugh if she heard this. But I keep imagining her walking home through empty streets, past those things, the statues that don't stay still. I shouldn't think like that. She's fine. She has to be. I keep telling myself that, because if I stop, I'll hear the silence answer back, and I don't want to hear what it has to say. .4, talking to fill the silence, approximately 150 words. It's strange how loud silence can get when there's nothing left to compete with it. No phones ringing, no chatter on the comms, just me. I keep flipping through messages, pretending to do updates. There's nothing new, no press releases, no emergency feeds. The official lines have gone dark. A listener named Daniel from Ash Street sent a note earlier. Maybe everyone's just waiting. I keep thinking about that. Waiting for what, though? For rescue? For reason? Maybe we're all just waiting for something to finish moving. The quiet's thick. The static hum feels almost alive, like it's breathing in the same rhythm I am. If you're listening out there, talk to me. Say anything. Knock on a wall. Tap your radio twice. Just let me know I'm not talking into the end of the world. 5.5. Power fluctuations, approximately 140 words. The lights keep flickering now. You can hear it, can't you? That faint buzz in the mic? That's the transformer under the floor. It's pulsing. I joked earlier it's just cosmic billing. Maybe the universe forgot to pay for this month's current. Ha! That was supposed to sound funny, but the voltage meter's twitching in rhythm with the hum outside. The same rhythm I felt in the concrete earlier tonight, like a heartbeat underground. Once or twice the generator coughed, like something was pushing back. I keep adjusting the mic gain, not because it helps, but because it gives my hands something to do. Something's building out there. I can feel it through the floor. And if I stop talking, I might hear it clearer. So I won't stop. Not yet. 5.6. The Bronze Soldier, approximately 155 words. I shouldn't have looked. There's a narrow window here. Just a slit of glass beside the mixing board. From here, I can see the town square. The war memorial's always been there. Bronze soldier, head high, rifle against his shoulder. A reminder of heroes who don't move anymore. Except, he's not standing now. He's kneeling, like he's praying. or surrendering. I don't even know why I'm whispering. Maybe because it feels like if I say it too loud, he'll hear me. He used to face the courthouse. Now his head's bowed toward the station. I think he's listening. The mic's still hot, but I can't say anything else. The air feels wrong, heavy, like the static has weight. If you're out there watching your own streets, look away. Just look away. "5.7, closing the segment, softly, approximately 140 words. All right, I think that's enough honesty for one night. I'll try to find her after the next break. Maybe she's home already. Maybe she's listening right now, wondering why I sound so tired. I'm going to play something quieter, something that won't make the room echo so much. Vinyl crackle. This one's hers. She used to hum along while cooking. I never liked it before, but right now, I'd give anything to hear her off key again. If you're listening, love, come home. Please. We'll keep the lines open. And to the rest of you out there, if you're listening, stay inside. Stay human. Don't stop talking, because silence isn't empty anymore. It's listening back. Soft music dissolves beneath static. End of section 5. Confession between songs. The story continues seamlessly into section 6. Emergency alert, statues moving in patterns. Title: Emergency alert, statues moving in patterns. Total section length: approximately 950 to 1,000 words. 6.1, 2:08 a.m. The alert tone, approximately 150 words, sharp static, then a piercing tone. That sound, if you're listening, wasn't me. It's the government line overriding the station feed. Hold on. Beep. There it is again. Long, cold, like something sterile cutting through the dark. An automated voice just came on. No human inflection, just a drone repeating. This is a national emergency broadcast. Please remain indoors. Do not approach public monuments. Do not gather near statues or memorial structures. Await further instruction. It repeats twice, word for word, like a machine trying to sound calm. Then silence again. That tone, it's still ringing in my ears. If you're out there and you heard that too, text me, call me, anything. I need to know this isn't just my feed glitching. Something big's happening, and it's not over yet. 6.2, the official language of panic, approximately 155 words. The automated message repeats, switching frequencies mid-broadcast. This time, I catch new words. Coordinated motion events. Mass migration of inorganic entities. Non-anomalous structural displacement. I guess that's how the end of the world sounds when a bureaucrat writes it. Let me translate. It means they're moving together now. Not random anymore. Organized, intentional. Clusters of movement across multiple cities. Statues stepping in rhythm, like some invisible orders being followed. They're calling it structural migration. I call it a march. You can hear the fear even through the dead tone of that recording. Somewhere, some intern had to type those words, and they knew. If anyone from the bureau's listening, you could have just said it straight. They're forming lines. They're coming together, and they're facing something. 6.3. Mapping the impossible, approximately 150 words. I've been checking the reports flooding in. Whatever's left of our feeds, aerial drones from listeners, emergency responders, a few hobby pilots who didn't land when they should have. The footage shows something insane. From above, the movement makes sense. They're not wandering. They're aligning. Circles, concentric shapes, some stretching for miles, others spiraling towards specific points. Monuments, churches, power stations. One listener says his town statues are all facing magnetic north. Another swears they're pointing toward the ocean. It's like watching constellations crawl into place. The air in here feels smaller now, like it's pressing down. I can almost feel the pull they're moving toward. If this is a pattern, someone or something is drawing it, and the rest of us are just living inside the outline. 6.4. Listeners write in approximately 140 words. Messages are still trickling in. Fewer now. Weaker signals. One from a woman in Kent. The angels in my garden turned to face the same direction. Another from London. The lion in Trafalgar Square bowed its head. I wish I could tell you these were hoaxes, God. I wish that. I'm trying to keep calm, trying to sound like it's still just radio, just words. But every message sounds the same. Every statue facing something unseen. I thank them all the same way. Keep your doors locked, but keep talking to me. Because if we stop talking, there's only the static left. And lately, even the static sounds like breathing. 6.5. The noise outside, approximately 155 words. There's something outside. Wait. You probably can't hear it through the feed, but I can feel it. A deep, slow grinding, like stone dragging over concrete. Rhythmic, patient. It's so heavy. The floor's trembling. Every instinct in my body says, don't speak. Just listen. But silence feels dangerous now, too. It's close. Closer than before. I can hear plaster dust shifting from the ceiling. The microphone's picking up tiny vibrations. Whatever's moving out there, it's not the wind, and I think it's below the window line now. I shouldn't look. If you're listening, check your windows. Just for a second. Do you hear it too? It's like the earth itself is remembering how to walk. 6.6. Rationalizing the unrational. Approximately 145 words. Okay, let's breathe. Let's think. There's an explanation. There has to be. Tectonic resonance, maybe. Vibrations, underground expansion, old infrastructure shifting. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Maybe it's just me being tired. Maybe I've been awake too long. The static's louder now, almost like feedback, but deeper, like it's syncing with my heartbeat. I laugh into the mic, trying to make it sound casual. Guess I need to cut back on caffeine, I say. But no one's laughing with me. If there's anyone still tuned in, please tell me I'm not imagining this. Because every time I pause, the static seems to fill the space I leave behind. And lately, I can't tell where my voice ends and the signal begins. 6.7. It's moving again. Approximately 150 words. It's back. The grinding sound. Louder now, slower, deliberate. Something heavy scraping against the street outside. You can hear the rhythm of it. Stop, drag, stop. I'm standing so still, the mic can probably hear my pulse. It's moving again. I whisper before I even realize I've said it. The transmitter lights flicker once, twice, like something's interfering with the current. The static isn't random anymore. It's patterned, pulsing, almost like footsteps. Then, no, I swear I hear it, breathing, right here. Not outside. Through the mic. If you're listening, don't turn it off, because whatever's out there, it wants silence. And as long as I'm talking, brief distortion crackles through the signal. Then it knows I'm still alive. End of section 6. Emergency alert, statues moving in patterns. The story continues seamlessly into section 7. Caller 3, The Child from Florence. Title, Caller 3, The Child from Florence. Total, section length, approximately 950 to 1,000 words. 7.1, 2:46 a.m. A whisper on the line, approximately 145 words. The line clicks again. Not a grown voice this time. Small, shaky, barely rising above the static. "Hello?" she says. I pause. It's a child. She tells me her name is Sophia. Says she's from Florence. Her voice is careful, polite. The way children sound when they know something bad is happening and don't want to make it worse. I smile into the mic, even though she can't see me. "Hi, sweetheart. You're safe talking to me, okay? Everything's all right." But my hand's already shaking over the notepad. The static swells, and she whispers, "They came down from the roof." I swallow hard. "Who did, honey?" She hesitates, and then says it so quietly I almost miss it. "The angels." And the room goes still. 7.2, The Angels That Walked, approximately 155 words. She says the angels from the cathedral roof climbed down last night. Her voice trembles, but she doesn't sound terrified. More like she's describing something sad. "They folded their wings," she says, like they were tired. I can hear her breathing against the receiver, the faint echo of distant bells behind her. She says there were 6 of them, maybe more. They didn't run. They didn't fly. Just walked, slow and careful, like people learning how to move again. She says they're heading toward the Arno River now. Her words fall between little pauses, as if she's watching from a window while we speak. I scribble notes without looking. Cathedral statues. Movement confirmed. Then I realize what she said next. They look kind, but their faces were empty. She says it so softly, like she's describing the moon. 7.3, Mama said not to look. Approximately 155 words. Her voice drops to a whisper. Mama told me not to look, but I did. I tell her it's okay, that she's brave for calling. She says the angel's eyes glow like candles in the dark. Not bright, just enough to see each other. I think they're lost, she says. Can angels get lost? I take too long to answer. I want to tell her no, that angels always know where they're going. But the words don't come. Instead, I ask if her mama is home. She's asleep, she says. She said we should stay inside and pray. Her breathing catches, like she's covering the phone with her hand. I think she's crying, but she whispers instead. They stopped walking. I think they're listening. I glance toward my own window. The night outside feels the same, quiet but not empty. 7.4, trying to protect her with words, approximately 145 words. Hey, Sophia, I say softly, forcing calm. Tell me about school. You have friends there? She giggles, a real laugh, quick and light. I like math, she says, and I draw a lot. I drew angels once. I ask her to tell me what color their wings were. She says white, like snow that hasn't fallen yet. I keep her talking. I don't want her to hear the sound coming through the line. Faint scraping, echoing like footsteps on stone. She doesn't seem to notice I ask her favorite song. She hums something I don't recognize. Old. Maybe a lullaby. It cuts through the static like a heartbeat. Then, very quietly, she stops and whispers, "It's louder now." "What is, sweetheart?" I ask. "The steps," she says. "They're outside." 7.5. The window opening. Approximately 155 words. There's a draft through the line. Soft but clear, like wind passing over a microphone. "Sophia," I say. "Did you open a window?" "No," she whispers. "It was already closed." A pause. Then, "But it's open now." I can hear the tremble in her breath, the thin waver between curiosity and fear. She says she can see the streetlights flickering. "They're outside," she murmurs. "The angels. They're walking by the house." I lower my voice until it's barely a breath. "Don't go near the window, sweetheart. Stay on the line with me. Promise." "Okay," she says, but she doesn't sound far from the window. I can hear the hum, that strange rhythmic sound that follows every movement they make, like the sound of stone remembering what it used to be. Seven 7.6. Static and footsteps, approximately 155 words. The static shifts, deepening something's moving closer to her end of the line. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, heavy. I raise my voice, trying to keep her focused. "Sophia, talk to me. Tell me what you see." She hesitates. "They're in the yard," she says. "There's light on them now." I hear her whisper again, barely audible. "They're looking for something." Her voice cracks on the word something. Then a scraping sound, sharp, metallic, echoes through the receiver. I call her name once, twice. No response, only static, thick and pulsing, swallowing the silence. Then faintly, like a ghost of sound, her voice, small and far away. I think they found it. The line crackles once, then dies. 7.7. After the silence, approximately 145 words. I keep her name on repeat. "Sophia, are you there? Sophia?" Nothing. Just the soft hiss of the transmitter cooling down. The studio feels colder now, the air heavier. Then, through the noise, a sound. Faint, distant, rhythmic footsteps again, but not from her line this time. From somewhere outside mine. I don't say that part aloud. I breathe into the mic, trying to steady my voice. "If you're listening in Florence," I pause, swallow hard. "Someone, please check on that little girl. She said her name was Sophia. She's near the cathedral." I wait, knowing no one will answer. "If you're listening, sweetheart," I whisper, "I'm still here. Just keep talking, okay? Keep talking." The static swells, fills the air like breath. Then even that goes quiet. End of section 7. Caller 3, the child from Florence. The story continues seamlessly into section 8, the theory broadcast. Title, The Theory Broadcast. Total section length, approximately 850 to 900 words. 8.1. 3:22 a.m. Gathering the fragments, approximately 145 words. It's 3:22 in the morning, and I think I've started to lose track of my own handwriting. I've been taking notes. Every call, every name, every place. The National Gallery. Rome. Florence. I filled 3 pages, maybe more. There's a pattern. There's always a pattern, right? That's what I keep telling myself. If I can find it, maybe I can still make this make sense. Rustle a paper. I've underlined the word movement 12 times, circled alignment twice. When I read it all together, it sounds like a story written by the earth itself. Old, deliberate, slow. And maybe that's what this is. Not chaos. Not chance. Just something ancient, repeating itself while we happen to be listening. I can't tell if that comforts me or makes me feel smaller. (8.2) Theories from the End of the World. Approximately 155 words. I still check the network when I can. There's barely anything left. The internet's dying, piece by piece, like cities going dark on a map. But every corner of what's left is full of theories. Some say this is a government experiment gone wrong, kinetic resonance, magnetic field collapse, nanotech testing. Others say it's cosmic, a planetary vibration. One man swears the statues are channeling solar flares. There's even talk about aliens now, visitors, architects returning for their monuments. Everyone's trying to explain it because we can't stand not understanding. We were raised on answers, raised to think. Nothing moves without reason, but reason's been quiet lately. I keep reading, scrolling, waiting for something that sounds true. So far, all I hear are human voices begging the universe to make sense again, and maybe that's the last thing it ever owed us. 8.3 The Whisper of Curses and Faith. Approximately 145 words. The emails keep coming too. I read them between power surges, when the signal holds steady long enough to pretend this is still a job. Half of them talk about faith, half about punishment. One listener wrote, "The angels walked because the churches fell silent." Another said she found a verse in Ezekiel that warned of the hands of stone reclaiming flesh, and there's one, unsigned, that simply said, "They're not moving, we are." It's strange how easily fear turns into prayer. Faith has always needed form, something solid to touch, to blame, to worship. Maybe that's what we gave them, form, and now they're giving it back. I don't know if I believe that, but I understand it. When things stop making sense, belief is just another word for survival. 8.4 Art that learned to breathe. Approximately 155 words. You ever think about how we made them? Stone into stories, bronze into beauty. We shaped faces that could outlast our own, and then we called it civilization. We built entire faiths around stillness, things that didn't age, didn't change, didn't die. Maybe we envied them. We put everything we loved and hated into them, heroes, gods, mothers, monsters, and we said, this is what eternity looks like. And maybe eternity listened. Maybe we gave them souls without realizing it. And now they're just returning the favor. That hum you hear behind me, that's the air moving through the vents, but it sounds almost alive, like the building's breathing. Maybe it is. Maybe everything we ever called lifeless is just slower at waking up than we are. If that's true, we should have been quieter. 8.5 Myths Remembered, Myths Reborn. Approximately 145 words. I've been reading old myths again. Couldn't sleep, so I went back through the ones my grandmother used to tell me. Statues walking in ancient times, only when the gods demanded justice, when humans forgot who made them. In every story, movement was a warning, a reminder that creation has limits. We thought those stories were primitive, but maybe they were just more honest than science. We forgot how to fear the right things. I wrote something down just now, a thought that came while the static was humming in the background. Maybe we made too many gods. They finally started counting themselves. 8.6, 3:37 a.m. The weight of understanding, approximately 155 words. It's 3:37 now. The lights just flickered again. I've stopped trying to explain it. Maybe it isn't them that moved at all. Maybe it's us who finally stood still, long enough to notice we built a world that never stopped, always rushing, always building, always talking. Now the noise has gone quiet. The earth is breathing again. The statues are moving. The sky's humming. And all of us, the ones still awake, still talking into the dark, we're the ones frozen. Maybe that's the real miracle or the curse. I don't know anymore. I only know the signal's weaker tonight. The static's thicker, heavier. If you're still out there listening, keep the radios on, keep the lights low. Something's shifting again, and I think we're the ones being watched now. End of section 8. The theory broadcast. The story continues seamlessly into section 9. Caller 4, the soldier. Title, Caller 4, the soldier. Total section. Length, approximately 950 to 1,000 words. 9.1 to 4:03 a.m. The line from the front, approximately 150 words. It's 4:03 in the morning, and we've got another call. This one's coming in hot through a weak frequency, heavy static chewing at the edges. You can hear it under the distortion, the rhythm of distant gunfire. Faint, repeating. I ask for a name, and the voice that answers sounds like gravel and smoke. Sergeant Mason, he says. Border outpost. Sector 9. His tone's calm, but there's that hollow fatigue in it. The kind of calm that only comes after too many nights awake. I tell him he's live, and he says he doesn't care. Who hears just need to keep talking. He mutters. I ask what's happening out there. He pauses, breath hitching under static. Then, almost casually, they're not men, and they're not machines. The line cracks once, sharp as lightning. 9.2. They don't break formation. Approximately 155 words. They don't break formation, Mason says, his voice steadier. Now I ask him to describe what he's seeing. He says they came out of the fog before dawn, figures in rows, perfectly spaced. At first we thought it was enemy armor, but they moved wrong. Too quiet, too heavy. He says they're made of stone, statues, granite, marble, bronze, everything from town memorials to museum displays. They don't flinch, they don't bleed, he says. Bullets just bounce off like rain. He fires a few shots while we talk. You can hear the metallic ring echo through the mic, followed by silence. They just keep coming, he adds. Every time we drop one, it stands back up like the ground won't let it rest. He tries to laugh, but it breaks halfway. Never thought I'd envy rock for being unbreakable. "9.3, the monuments of war, approximately 155 words. I ask where they're heading. He says it's not random. They're drawn to memorials first. Old generals, stone horses, even the soldier statues from our own base museum, he says. He sounds shaken. They're not attacking civilians. They're going after monuments. I ask what he means. It's like they're erasing war itself, he mutters, every symbol of it, every name carved into stone. You can hear explosions behind him now, the deep concussive thump of distant shells. He shouts an order off the line, then returns, voice cracking. One of them grabbed the bronze flag bearer, snapped the pole in half like it meant something. There's a pause. The hum of the transmitter deepens. You ever seen a memorial look alive, sir? He asks quietly. Before I can answer, another blast rocks the signal. And then his voice returns, thin, almost prayerful. They're cleansing history. WOOX 9.4, the broadcast turns battlefield, approximately 145 words. I tell Mason he's live on the air, that people can hear him right now. He doesn't hesitate. Good, he says. Someone should. The background shifts, shouting, boots slamming, the metallic shriek of something tearing apart. I hear him barking commands. Hold the line. Keep the lights up. Then back to me. They move like they already know where we'll run. He sounds small now. The kind of small that comes from realizing the map's run out of edges. We thought we were fighting ghosts, he says. Turns out the ghosts were us. The line crackles. For a second, I think we've lost him. But the sound returns, wet and harsh, like rain, on broken concrete. Don't stop broadcasting, he says. If you cut the mic, it's like we never happened. Then, another explosion. The feed warps. 9.5. The last orders. Approximately 155 words. The static's worse now, but his voice cuts through in fragments. Coordinates, Delta Sector, pulling back to the river. I scribble them down, even though I don't know why. Habit, maybe. He says most of his men are gone. The rest are repositioning. He laughs. Not the kind of laugh you want to hear from someone still holding a rifle. Safe's not real anymore, sir, he says. I tell him to keep his head down, to stay on the line as long as he can. You've been keeping us company out here, he says. All those nights when it got too quiet, we'd tune in just to hear another voice. Reminded us we weren't ghosts yet. I start to respond, but he cuts me off with a cough that sounds like smoke. Then softly, you keep talking, no matter what happens next. 9.6, the sound of stone and gunfire, approximately 155 words. The feed's chaos now, a storm of sound gunfire, shouts, the metallic scrape of something dragging across armor. Mason shouting commands. Left flank, fall back, cover the radio. But the words blur under the distortion. It's impossible to tell how close the fight is. It sounds like it's happening inside the signal itself. I keep calling his name. Sergeant Mason, do you copy? He doesn't answer. Then, a low, grinding roar, like hundreds of tons of stone grinding in unison. The transmitter whines, overloading. The static becomes a single screaming frequency. I yell into the mic, begging him to respond. There's a crash, deafening, metallic, then the sharp hiss of burning circuits. The board lights flicker red, then black. And for a moment, I think the radio itself is holding its breath. 9.7, silence after the shot, approximately 155 words. Then, one sound, a single gunshot. Sharp, final, swallowed by static. I freeze. The hum lingers, faint but alive. Sergeant Mason, I whisper, if you can hear me, say something. Nothing. Just the sound of distant thunder somewhere beyond the reach of radio. I keep talking, anyway. My voice sounds small now, brittle. If you're still out there, if anyone from the outpost is alive, you're not alone. We're still listening. The words echo in the empty studio, like I'm saying them to no one at all. I wait 30 seconds, maybe more, before realizing the transmission's dead. I switch frequencies, desperate, scanning for another signal. Only white noise answers back. I lean close to the mic, whispering into the dark. Safe's not real anymore, I say, but we can still talk. Then, the static rises again, like breath. End of section 9. Caller 4, the soldier. The story continues seamlessly into section 10, static and memories. Title, Static and Memories. Total section. Length, approximately 900 to 1,000 words. 10.1 to 4:39 a.m. Power flicker, approximately 145 words. It's 4:39 a.m. The lights just dimmed again. The hum that's been keeping me company all night. That soft electrical heartbeat just skipped. You might have heard that click on your end too. That was the main grid cutting out. Happens every few hours now. Hold on, there. That's the backup kicking in. You can hear it, can't you? That low, uneven buzz underneath everything. Like a tired animal, breathing through the wires. We've been told to conserve, but if I go off air, it's like cutting the cord on the last pulse of this city I'm staying on. Even if it's just this little generator between me and the dark. Still here, still talking, still pretending the static means something more than what it is. Just electricity, trying to remember the world. Still here. "10.2. When broadcasting meant something else. Approximately 145 words. You know, there was a time when broadcasting meant something else. When silence didn't mean danger. It meant the station was sleeping, waiting for another morning. I used to play jazz at night back then. Real vinyl scratches, hisses, all that beautiful imperfection. The sound of human error. And in the morning, I'd read the weather, tell people to bring umbrellas, to call their mothers, to drive safe. Silence back then was control. It was peace. Now every pause between my words feels like the world testing how long I can hold my breath. We used to trust the airwaves. We used to believe they connected us, that a voice could make distance smaller. Now the air feels heavier, and every sound that travels through it feels watched. The static's different now. It listens back. 10.3. The silence between words. Approximately 150 words. You ever notice how silence changes its shape depending on who's listening? Tonight, it feels alive. I can hear it between the syllables, breathing back at me. Sometimes it's fast, shallow. Sometimes long, patient, like it's waiting for me to say something I shouldn't. Maybe it's the equipment. Maybe it's me. You know, when you've been alone this long, you start assigning personalities to the quiet. I tap the mic sometimes just to prove it's still me here. That the voice isn't something else. The thing is, I used to think silence was absence. Now I think it's memory. It remembers every word that's ever filled it, every broadcast, every prayer, every goodbye. And when I stop talking, it plays them back, faintly, like echoes trapped between frequencies. Sometimes I think the air listens, and sometimes I think it learns. 10.4. Talking to stay human. Approximately 145 words. Talking keeps me human. That's not a metaphor, it's survival. If I stop, the silence starts to talk instead. I used to laugh at people who said radio was dying. Now, it's the only pulse left I can hear. Maybe you out there, whoever you are, maybe you're just like me, saying things into the dark. Because if you don't, it feels like the world forgets you exist. I keep my hand on the mic even when I'm not speaking. It's warm. I think that's what I'm really afraid of losing. Warmth. I don't even care if no one's tuned in anymore. I talk because silence feels like permission, and I can't give it that. So yeah, talking keeps me human, and maybe listening keeps you human too. If you're still out there, breathe with me. Just breathe. 10.5. The sound from below. Approximately 145 words. There's a sound coming from below the floor. At first I thought it was the generator, but this is different. Scraping, rhythmic, like stone dragged across tile. I mentioned the lobby earlier, didn't I? The one with that old marble relief. The winged victory piece. It used to face the front doors. I went down there once after hours years ago. It always made me feel small. Anyway, that sounds closer now. I can hear it between the low hum of the backup power. A kind of grinding breath rising through the vents. I know I should go check. But if I do, the airwaves go dead. And I can't let that happen. So I'll just stay here, talking, pretending I don't hear it. If you're listening out there, and I really hope someone still is, tell me it's just the wind. 10.6, filling the air, approximately 145 words. I'm going to keep reading anything, old notes, weather reports, names from last week's mailbag. Elena from Brighton, still waiting for sunrise. Martin in the North Quarter says the statues haven't moved yet. Maybe those names mean nothing now, but I'm saying them anyway. Saying names keeps them real. There's no new mail coming in, but I pretend there is. I tell myself someone's still out there, listening, writing, remembering. If you can hear me, just stay awake, I whisper, because sleep feels dangerous now. Because every time the world gets quiet, it feels like it's listening for who's left. The scraping sound's gone, but the silence it left behind, it's worse. It's thicker, hungrier. I'll keep the mic open till dawn. If dawn still comes, and if it doesn't, at least someone tried to fill the air. End of section 10, Static and Memories. Story continues into section 11, Caller 5, The Sculptor. Title, The Sculptor's Call. Total section length, approximately 900 to 1,000 words. 11.1, 5:12 a.m. The studio line reconnects, approximately 145 words. It's 5:12 in the morning. The line just clicked back alive. After almost an hour of nothing but static, there's traffic in the background of this one. New York, maybe. The woman's voice comes through thin, like she hasn't slept in days. Clara Moretti, she says, I'm a sculptor. I ask what she's calling about, and she laughs quietly, the kind of laugh that sounds like it hurts. I thought I was calling to report theft, she says. But it's not theft, is it? Her voice breaks on that word. She says she walked into her studio this morning and realized nothing's been stolen, but everything's missing. You can hear her trying to breathe through it, trying to make sense of what doesn't make sense anymore. I tell her to take her time. The night's long. We're all listening. 11.2. They're gone from my studio. Approximately 150 words. Clara says the door was still locked when she arrived. The dust hadn't been disturbed, but the air, she says, felt different. She found her tools scattered like someone had been using them. Plinth's empty stone footprints across the marble floor, tracked in fine white powder. The mourner's hands, she whispers. That was my last piece. 2 hands reaching for each other but never touching. She pauses. I hear her swallow. They're gone. All of them. The angels, the weeping mothers, the broken kings. But that one hurts most. I ask if she means someone took it. No, she says. It took itself. The silence that follows doesn't feel like disbelief. It feels like both of us trying to understand how you lose something that was never alive. 11.3 Sculptures that feel approximately 155 words. I ask her what she thinks is happening. There's a sound. Maybe she's sitting down, maybe crying softly. Before she says, it's emotion. It has to be. Her voice steadies as she talks, like she's explaining to herself as much as to me. When I sculpt, I don't carve with logic. I carve with what's left inside after loss. We all do that, every artist. We pour our fear, our grief, our guilt into something that can't speak back. She takes a breath that trembles. So maybe now they are speaking back. Maybe they're answering everything we put in them. The world's full of guilt right now, and grief. So much grief. Her theory doesn't sound insane. It sounds inevitable. I whisper that maybe beauty was never meant to stay still forever. She doesn't laugh. She just says, then maybe it's finally breathing. 11.4 The sound of chisel memory. Approximately 145 words. Clara's quiet for a long time. You can almost hear the hum of her studio through the line. The echo of a space meant for creation, now hollow. She says something I'll never forget. Every time I struck the chisel, I thought I was breaking stone. But maybe it was remembering. Her words fall slow, deliberate. You don't just shape marble, she continues. You herd it into form. Every curve, every hollow. It remembers what it took to become beautiful. The sound of her breathing fills the silence between us. Not crying, just realizing. I tell her I understand. That sometimes you build things hoping they'll outlast your pain. But what if pain's the thing that made them strong enough to move? She exhales, long, tired, almost relieved. Maybe that's what art really is, she says, the world remembering how to feel. 11.5 The missing piece, approximately 155 words. Clara's tone shifts. Lower now, gentler. There's something she's been holding back. One piece, she says. One I never showed anyone. Her voice trembles. I made him after my son died. I told myself it was for practice, but I carved every inch from memory. The way his hair fell, the way his hands curled when he dreamed. She goes quiet. That's the one that's missing. I don't speak. I just let her keep going. I thought if I captured him right, he'd stay. But maybe that was never the point. Her voice cracks like thin ice. Maybe they're going where they're needed. Maybe he's coming home. There's a hum on the line. traffic again, or maybe wind. Then she says it again, softer this time, as if it's both a prayer and a goodbye. Maybe he's coming home. "11.6 or where we failed, approximately 145 words. Her last words linger, and I repeat them back without thinking. Maybe they're going where they're needed. Then softer, almost to myself, or where we failed. Clara doesn't answer. The line fills with the hum of the city. Distant sirens wind between glass towers. The world still moving, even when marble learns to walk. I tell her to hold on, to keep sculpting, to keep giving form to what's left of us. But the call drops mid-sentence. The silence that follows feels heavier than usual. I sit there whispering into the static. Clara, are you still with me? Nothing. Only the soft hiss of an empty frequency. If you're out there, I murmur finally, keep sculpting hope, even if it breaks you, even if the stone moves before you do. The transmitter clicks, once, twice, before falling completely silent. End of section 11. The Sculptor's Call. Story continues into section 12. The Streets Go Silent. Title: The Streets Go Silent, Silent. Total section length: approximately 900 to 1,000 words. At 12.1, 5:54 a.m., The City Without Voices, approximately 145 words. It's 5:54 in the morning. I don't remember when I last slept. The city outside the window looks like a photograph. Still, perfect, wrong. The evacuation went through last night. No cars, no shouting, no sirens, just the hum of power lines dying slow. The air feels heavy, like it's pressing down on everything. I keep waiting for something to break the silence. A horn, a bark, a human sound. But nothing comes. If you're still out there, I whisper. You can probably hear your own heartbeat louder than mine. The microphone buzzes faintly. I lean closer. The city feels hollow. I say again, just to hear my own voice, in the emptiness, like it's holding its breath. And maybe that's all we are now. A collection of lungs waiting for permission to exhale. "12.2. The Vanishing Helicopters, approximately 140 words. There were helicopters earlier. You could hear them circling, deep, low, the kind of sound that makes you believe someone's still in control. I counted 3 passes before the noise started to drift further away. Then, one by one, the engines faded, swallowed by distance. I waited for them to come back. They didn't. Now the sky sounds empty. It shouldn't, but it does. I clear my throat and say the part no one wants to admit on air. They're not coming back. The realization hits before I can stop it. I don't know who's in charge anymore. The government, the army, the statues. Maybe no one. I turn the volume down a little just so I don't have to hear the static pretending to be company. The silence is worse. 12.3. The hum beneath the air, approximately 150 words. At first, I think it's interference, a low vibration under the static. But then the coffee mug on my desk starts to tremble. It's faint, rhythmic, like something alive. I tap the mic, thinking it's feedback. It's not. The sound stays. A pulse running under the floor, under the world. It's not mechanical, I whisper. It's movement. The tone of it shifts, as if it's everywhere at once. Maybe it's the statues aligning again, the circles, the formations, whatever they were doing before. Maybe they're still doing it. Only closer now. I can feel it in my ribs when I talk. If you're listening, don't mistake the silence for safety. Silence has a heartbeat now. It's in the air, under the concrete, beneath your feet. It's learning to breathe louder than we do. 12.4 Messages from the Trapped, approximately 160 words. The station inbox is still online. For now, I start reading messages between surges of static. One from Emily and Jonah, apartment 1903. We locked every door, covered the windows. The statue from the fountain is on the balcony. It's looking in. Another, from a man named Darius. Hiding in the stairwell of 43rd Street Station. It's dark, but I can hear the marble grinding below. Feels like prayer, but wrong. The last one's just a single line. They're at my door. No name, no address. I read each aloud, each syllable, like a prayer that someone might still be listening, someone who can do something. My voice cracks on the last line. I realize how strange it feels to pray through a microphone. The only reply is static, but maybe that's just how heaven sounds now. "12.5. The microphone trembles, approximately 145 words. Something's wrong with the mic. It's trembling. Or maybe that's my hand. The hum outside is getting louder, closer. The air in the studio vibrates like a drum skin. Loose papers flutter across the desk, each one catching the charge. I try to make a joke about it. Say it's just postmodern percussion, but the words don't land. Maybe the statues aren't walking anymore. I mutter. Maybe they're listening. The thought sticks. Every microphone in every empty building, every radio still on. Maybe they're using the signals to hear us. I force a small laugh, but it doesn't sound like me. If you're out there, lower the volume, just in case. I can't shake the feeling that every word we say now becomes part of whatever's growing in the silence. 12.6 The sound on the stairs, approximately 160 words. Wait. There's something outside. It starts faint, like stone dragging against tile. Then heavier, slower, deliberate. The stairwell. It's moving upward, one step at a time. I lower my voice. If you're still listening, stay with me. Don't hang up. The scraping stops halfway, then resumes. Louder. It's not wind. It's not the building settling. Each step sounds like weight rediscovering purpose. I can hear it through the floor now. A slow rhythm matching the hum outside. Someone, I whisper, or something, is coming up. I reach for the switchboard instinctively, like it'll protect me. The mic captures every breath, every tremor. The stairwell creaks, then pauses. I don't dare move. If you're listening, I breathe. Please, keep the frequency open. One more step closer, then another. The last sound before the signal distorts. A hand, heavy as stone, touching the door. End of section 12. The streets go silent. Story continues into section 13. The statue of his wife. Title, The Statue of His Wife. Total section. Length, approximately 950 to 1,000 words. 13.1 to 6:27. A.M. The confession begins. Approximately 145 words. It's 6:27 in the morning. I should have gone off air by now, but I can't. The signal's still running, and so am I. There's something I haven't told you. Something I've kept off the record. Behind the voice. Behind the updates. And the warnings. I've been honest about the world. The statues. The silence, the movement. But not about me. This part isn't for ratings or survival. It's just a truth that's been clawing at the inside of my throat since this all began. You ever hold on to something so hard it starts to feel like part of you? That's what I did with her. The static grows thicker in my headphones. Feels almost like breath. There's something I haven't told you, I say again. Something personal. And for once, I don't hide behind the microphone. 13.2. The artist she was, approximately 155 words. Her name was Elena. She worked with clay, stone, and silence said. Every shape had a heartbeat if you listened long enough. I used to tease her for that. For talking to her sculptures like they were old friends. She'd laugh and say, "You talk to invisible people for a living. What's the difference?" God, that laugh. It filled the studio like light through dust. She believed art was a way to trap time, that if she sculpted something perfectly enough, it would never truly stop living. When the cancer came, she started working faster. Days, nights, hands bleeding, eyes sunken, still shaping, still carving. Her final piece was herself, a self-portrait in marble. Not vanity, no, more like confession, a frozen promise that she wouldn't fade, even if her voice did. And now I can't tell which one of us she saved. 13.3. The statue in the garden, approximately 145 words. After she died, I kept her sculpture in the garden behind the house. It was her last self-portrait, the most perfect thing she ever made. Every line, every curve, every imperfection. She stood there under the birch tree, still and eternal. I used to bring my coffee out there every morning, sit beside her and talk like she could still hear me. "Morning, love," I'd say. "Forecast clear today." Sometimes I'd imagine she smiled back, or that the air around her felt warmer. At night, I'd leave the porch light on so she wouldn't be alone. Neighbors thought it was morbid, but they didn't understand. That statue wasn't death. It was memory. It was her. The last piece of the world that didn't crumble until the night it did. 13.4. The night it vanished. Approximately 155 words. It was 3 nights ago. I came home after the late shift, half listening to the hum of the radio, thinking about everything collapsing. And for the first time, the house felt wrong. Too quiet. The porch light was still burning, but the garden looked different. The air was heavy. Then I saw it. The pedestal was empty. The soil disturbed. There were footprints. Small, bare, perfect, pressed into the dirt, leading straight to the gate. For a while, I just stood there. Couldn't move. Couldn't speak. I told myself it was vandals, kids. Anyone but her. But the footprints, they were shaped like hers. I checked the locks 3 times that night. Every door, every window. Didn't help. Because deep down, I knew. She didn't disappear. She left. 13.5. She came back, didn't she? Approximately 150 words. Sometimes I wonder if I started all this broadcast, this voice in the dark, because I hope she might be listening. She came back, didn't she? I whisper into the mic, half to the static, half to the silence. If she's out there now, walking with the others, I want to believe she's still gentle, still her. Maybe she's not stone anymore. Maybe she remembers warmth, touch, mornings. Maybe she's searching. I close my eyes and picture her among the statues, the ones gathering, aligning, breathing dust. But no, that's madness, isn't it? Still, when you love someone enough, even the impossible starts to sound like logic. I laugh. It comes out cracked, hollow. She came back, I say again, voice shaking. Didn't she? And the static answers softly, a sigh that sounds almost like her name. "13.6, the tap at the door, approximately 155 words. Hold on, do you hear that? There's a sound. Faint, rhythmic, two soft taps. I stop talking. The microphone catches the silence between my breaths. It's coming from the hallway. For a moment, I think it's the building settling, or maybe just the hum outside, echoing wrong. But then, two more knocks, gentle, familiar. It's at the door, I whisper, barely audible. She always knocked twice. Always. My throat tightens. I can't move. It's been months since I said her name aloud in this room, but it's on the edge of my tongue now, trembling. Elena. Another knock, firmer this time, patient. I can feel the vibrations through the floor, through the mic stand, through me. If you're listening, I say to whoever's still tuned in, don't turn it off yet, because I think she heard me. 13.7, the breath before silence, approximately 145 words. I stand. Or maybe I just think I do. The chair scrapes against the tile. The sound sharp in my ears. Elena, I say again. But it's barely air now, not voice. Something shifts outside the studio. A whisper of movement. Stone against metal. The mic hums with interference, static rising, falling, breathing. I reach out, fingers shaking, as if the air between us still remembers her warmth. If you're there, I whisper, you can come in. The static grows so loud it almost drowns the next sound. One soft, deliberate knock, then another, the same rhythm she used when I forgot my keys. I exhale, the sound breaking halfway. The mic catches everything, the trembling breath, the faint tap, the silence swallowing both. Then nothing, only static, and the quiet waiting world. End of section 13. The statue of his wife. Story continues into section 14. Final transmission, if you're listening. Title, Final transmission, if you're listening. Total section. Length, approximately 1,050. Words. 14.1, 6:59 a.m. The static storm, approximately 150 words. Static surge. Can you still hear me out there? The signals, it's cutting in and out again. Power's down to emergency. The lights keep flickering like lightning in a jar. If you can hear this, I'm still here. Still broadcasting. The equipment's running on fumes, but as long as the red light's on, I'll keep talking. I think the transmitter's overheating. Smells like burnt dust. I've lost half the frequency range. The meters don't even register properly anymore. Short, heavy breath. I don't know what's happening outside the city, but if you've got batteries, if your radio still works, stay tuned. Stay awake, the power's failing, the static's eating my words, but I'm not done yet. As long as this microphone hums, someone's voice will fill the dark. And right now, it's mine. 14.2. They're outside, approximately 150 words. I can see them now. Shapes in the fog, silhouettes moving through the dawn light that doesn't quite reach the ground. Every statue from the park, the courthouse, the old church down on Marrow Street, they're walking toward the station, slow, steady, not rushing. They don't need to. It's like gravity's guiding them, pulling them to the same point. Here. Some still carry fragments of what they once were: a crown, a book, a raised hand. They look purposeful, not angry, not wild, just certain. I don't think they're here to destroy anything. I think they've already decided what comes next. I keep my voice low because it feels wrong to speak too loudly now, like interrupting a sermon. If you're listening, they're here, and they're closer than the air we breathe. 14.3. The weight of the air. Approximately 145 words. It's strange how heavy the air feels when nothing's moving. There's a vibration under everything. In the desk, the floor, even in my ribs. The kind of resonance you feel before thunder hits. I can hear them through the walls. Not footsteps exactly. More like pressure. Each second stretches thin. I try to keep my tone level to sound like a broadcaster, but I can hear the tremor in my own voice. It's strange. I whisper into the mic. How quiet they are when they move. Like they've already rehearsed this moment. Maybe they have. Maybe this was always supposed to happen. The world ending not with fire or noise, but with a slow rearranging of stone, a rewriting of what was once still. And in that silence, I swear, I can almost hear breathing. "14.4. The plea to remember, approximately 155 words. If you're still tuned in, wherever you are, listen. Don't let this vanish into myth. Don't let them say it never happened. Remember the guard at the museum, the priest in Rome, the child from Florence, the sculptor who lost her son, the soldier who died on the border. Remember the movement, the circles, the hum beneath the ground. If the airwaves survive, if someone ever finds these tapes, don't erase them. Don't clean the static out. Let it stay messy, human. This is what it sounded like when the world woke up. When the things we built started walking back toward us, I think we always wanted to make gods. We just never asked what they'd want in return. So if you're hearing this, please, remember what we saw. Don't let silence rewrite it. 14.5, the metallic crash. Approximately 155 words, sudden metallic groan. That wasn't thunder. It's the gate. The front gate just collapsed. The whole building shook with it. The microphones picking up everything. The reverb, the vibration in the floor, even the sound of the glass cracking somewhere nearby. I can feel it through my feet, like the ground's remembering how to move. They're closer. I can hear the scrape of metal against concrete. The statues. I say into the mic, voice barely holding. They're in the parking lot now. I picture them between the cars, brushing against antennas, dragging their marble hands across windshields. Every broadcast tower in the city hums at once, a chorus of dying frequencies. They're so close now, I can almost hear the stone grind against air, and through it all, I swear I can hear footsteps, slow, deliberate, coming this way. 14.6, breathing between words. Approximately 140 words. My words are starting to shake apart. I can hear the breaks in my breathing. They're at the stairs, I say. I shouldn't look, but I do. There's a shadow, moving across the frosted glass at the end of the hall. It's not human. It's heavier. I don't feel terror anymore, just awe. Like watching a tide rise and realizing there's nowhere left to stand. They're not angry, I whisper. They're just here. Static bursts across the signal, swallowing half the words. If you're listening, I want you to know. Distortion. This doesn't feel like death. It feels like being remembered. Like the world's been holding its breath all along and is finally exhaling. I think I understand now. "14.7, the knock on the glass, approximately 150 words. Tap, tap. There it is again. 2 knocks, gentle, familiar. I can see the outline through the fogged window. Small, still. Elena, I whisper. The silence afterwards stretches forever. No more hum, no more vibration. Just a stillness so pure it hurts. I push the microphone closer, my hands trembling. I don't even realize I'm standing until the chair creaks behind me. Elena, I say again, but this time it's not for the listeners. It's for whatever's on the other side of that glass. If you're listening, I breathe, remember me. The sound that follows isn't speech, it's motion, a shift. Stone meeting floor, I close my eyes, and for the first time since this started, I stop talking. 14.8, the final whisper, approximately 150 words. Signal distortion, heavy static. The transmission cuts in and out. Words scatter like ghosts in a storm. Then, breath. Just one. Soft, human, close to the mic. If you're listening, the sentence fractures, reforms. You're not alone. No more words after that. Just the hiss of the radio, cycling endlessly. Some say the transmission kept repeating for hours. Others claim they still catch it, sometimes. Late at night, buried deep in the static between channels. No one ever confirmed what happened in that studio, but those who've heard it, they remember. Because after the end of the world, when the last voice fades and silence tries to claim what's left, somewhere, on some dying frequency, a whisper still answers back. If you're listening, you're not alone. End of section 14. Final transmission. Title, postscript, The Empty Studio. Total section. Length, approximately 950 to 1,000 words. 15.1, 7:24 a.m. The static that stayed, approximately 145 words. Static crackle. The broadcast comes back on. No voice this time. Just the soft hum of an open channel. The equipment still runs on backup, lights blinking weakly. The board breathing faintly like a chest too tired to rise again. No one adjusts the mic. No one clears their throat. Only the static remains, patient, alive in its own strange way. Somewhere in the circuitry, there's a rhythm. The kind of low, steady pulse that feels like waiting. The red, on-air light flickers once, twice holds. The microphone listens. The room hums. And though there's no one left to speak, the signal doesn't stop. It lingers, as if expecting a voice that's only stepped away for a moment, as if it believes someone will come back to finish the sentence. "15.2. Footsteps in the dust, approximately 145 words, soft distortion under the static. Something moves, not speech, not mechanical, but weight, a heavy sound, uneven, scraping lightly against the tile. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, as though the air itself remembers how to walk. Each one lands with the careful rhythm of something rediscovering motion. The sound circles the mic once, twice, pausing close enough for a faint breath of dust to brush against the grill. Then it shifts away toward the hallway. A chair creaks once, then silence again, wide and waiting. The recording doesn't stop. It doesn't even flinch, just keeps going, endless, indifferent, capturing the empty room as if it were news. Only the static remains, carrying the faint echo of those fading steps like a secret too soft to name. 15.3 The Looping Beacon, approximately 155 words. A tone pierces through the quiet, mechanical, sharp, official. Then the recorded voice. This is a civil defense broadcast. Remain indoors. Help is on the way. The line repeats over and over, each time, the same calm inflection, the same mechanical mercy, but no one's left to hear it. Outside the city, the receivers hum faintly in basements, garages, cars with open doors, all of them tuned to this exact phrase, this last promise. The voice drones on, tireless. Help is on the way. The static behind it rises and falls, almost like breathing, deep, steady, unnatural. The message loops again, softer now under the interference, and somewhere, between each repetition, it almost sounds like a heartbeat, or maybe memory. Maybe that's the same thing now. 15.4 The ghost frequency, approximately 145 words. Feedback distortion. Something shifts in the loop. The recorded voice fractures mid-word, twisting through static. For a single moment, something else speaks through it. A whisper, human, uncertain. You can't tell if it's the host or the echo of him, a remnant caught inside the wires. If you're listening, the tone shatters. Then the system recovers, forcing the words back into order. This is a civil defense broadcast. Remain indoors. The interruption is gone, erased by protocol, overwritten by the machine that doesn't understand ghosts, but the static still carries that faint trace, the shape of a voice, too human to be coincidence. And for those still tuned in somewhere across the broken air, it sounds less like interference and more like someone trying to come home. "15.5, 7:37 a.m. The watchful air, approximately 150 words. The beacon keeps looping, steady as breath. Outside the words, the world has gone quiet. The studio creaks softly, a sound like old bones shifting in their sleep. Loose paper flutters across the desk. The lights hum. Somewhere, a wire hums lower, slower, like it's listening. The air feels different now. Not empty, aware. It's the kind of silence that leans forward, not back. The kind that feels like it could answer if it wanted to. The voice continues, unbothered. Help is on the way. Another pause. Help is on the way. Each repetition grows thinner, more brittle, until the static swallows half the sentence. And then nothing moves, not even the hum. Only that feeling, that quiet weight and pressure, as though the air itself expects someone to speak again. "15.6 The Endless Transmission, approximately 150 words. The message keeps looping. The system doesn't tire. Machines rarely do. The static folds into silence. Silence folds back into static. Somewhere, hundreds of miles away, a single receiver still hums. Faint, consistent, untouched by human hands, it plays to no one. But still, it plays. Each wave of sound travels outward through dead skies, across broken cities, through clouds of dust and rust and memory. Each echo carries what's left of a voice, not words, just rhythm, a heartbeat buried inside the signal. And for anyone who happens to stumble on this frequency, if anyone ever tunes their dial by accident, they'll hear it, not the message, not the warning, just the quiet pulse of something that refuses to stop, something still listening back. The hum rises once more, steady, endless, and the transmission never ends. End of section 15. Postscript: The Empty Studio.